So yeah, hi. Got a question from a guy on YouTube and about this saw, and I thought I'd do a little quick review. It's mainly, so this is essentially how you'd get that saw. It's the SC3W Minimax by SCM, and these are essentially the parts you get with that saw, and essentially the way it would be set up. So, but I just want to review a couple things. Firstly, there's some nice features. This bed locks right down in here. This is the unlock. But I think mainly what I'd really like to point out is that when you get, incidentally, you only get one handle. You pull it off, put it on here, and when you go to change the angle, it doesn't have trunnions. I don't know if you can see under there, it's kind of dark. But it runs on a sort of a pivot system. So I'm cranking the handle, and there's a pivot. It's a bad shot. There's a pivot mounted to the underside of this bed. One on either side, one in front and one in the back of the blade. So it doesn't have trunnions, it's just a pivot. And you actually lose 3/16. You'll see on the other video, I did a demo of that. You lose 3/16 of an inch on a 45 degree. So, which means you actually have to compensate with the number gauge, which is kind of difficult. It's a nice rip fence. It's quick action. I like it. It's good and solid with your micro adjustment. Back to that 45, it's at 45 degrees you lose 3/16, say 22.5 you lose 3/32. But if you got other angles, it's a little difficult to compensate, short of drawing the pencil line and creeping up onto the cut. Anyways, so what I thought you get a 5-foot cross cut, and if I can put this camera down, I like to adjust the fence and use it in another way. I like the fence, cross-cut fence behind me. I slide it here. One thing I don't like about this is it takes so damn long to move this fence or take it off. And plus, if you can see, I can't get my hand in there comfortably. I have to roll it all the way forward to get a nice grip. See how long that takes? And then I have to loosen it here enough Then I have to pull it all the way back here, so my hand has room to turn this. And then they have a set screw in there that sets the 90 degrees. Well, this, see how long that takes to take off? I should grind that down. But the way they got this collar hits the set screw, and that keeps your 90 degrees. Well, and it sticks out, that set screw. Well, you got to be careful you don't tighten on top of that set screw. You got to creep up to it, get it almost tight, then pull it back and tighten. Now you're 90. They have one here and one here, so you have an option of front and back, which is nice. And I like it here. The other thing is, they've given you 3 holes to set that swing arm in. And I like, I want to get as much travel out of this. So that swing arm can only go so far. So they've given you 3 holes or 3 options, 1, 2, 3, to come into. Well, that gave me another 8 inches to come back. So now, if I grab my tape measure, now I have a maximum of about 38 inches to the blade, which is enough for most applications. And if I want to cross cut a 4-foot sheet, then I'll move this fence up to here. And I still get a 4-foot. If I need 5 foot, then I take that off and use it pushing against the fence. The other thing I've discovered is when it came, if I was doing miters and 45s, well, a half-inch piece of half-inch piece of material, I can do a close-up of that. I've had to cut a piece of wood to fit in this groove right here, because my half-inch piece of 45 would slip in that groove. It was really daft, I think, that design. And likewise on the other side. I've slipped in some maple there to make this flush, and so my miters don't slip in. If I was to flip that miter, and well, there's a slight little chamfer on the bottom of this, which is, again, it's a bit daft, because then my miter slips under. And the way they've got this front, which is this, well, the miter wouldn't slip under there, but would slip under there, throwing it out of square. Or vice versa, if this wood maple was out of there, it'd hit here and slip inside that groove. Anyways, I think you get the idea. So, and then, of course, you do have scoring, which is nice sometimes. You've got a up and down lock, and side to side on a conical type scoring blade. I don't use the scoring much because I tend to use a negative rake saw blade. High alternate bevel negative rake seems to work fine. And anyways, that's essentially the saw. It's I like the riving knife, the splitter, and here, this is fairly quick on and off. And they also include a nice hold down, which tightens like so. So that's essentially the saw. I like the handle idea. I think that's this handle here. I think that's typical. It's good for moving the bed with your hip. And I also like these stops. They're a nice design, nice feature. The one thing wrong with this particular unit is I've done a few small modifications, but it only goes out to 82 or 83. Well, you'd think they'd throw in a fence that'll go over to 40, go to 96, considering most sheets are 96 inches. And I'll just set this thing down for a second. The other thing, this is just an additional feature I've put on. So I've got a front and a back. Again, I'll clamp that on if I want to, if my fence is up front, and if I want to cut 4x8 sheets. And another addition I've added, I think you've seen these in some saws, this flip-up table, and that bed will lock down at that end. So, and I like this finger pull as well. Finger lift the sheets out. Now, keep in mind this is Canadian, about a $6,000 saw. It's not a $12,000, it's not a $15,000 or $20,000 saw. But when you compare it to, say, the stop saw or a new General, now we're up in Canada here, so with these other saws, compare it to these other saws, $6,000 is not bad. And considering I think that stop saw is what, $4,000? I might be wrong. I think it's around there. And the other typical 10-inch are around, start at what, 2 and climb from there. And a decent cabinet shop saw. This is a 12-inch, by the way, and it has a good solid motor. It's strong, so it's good for lumber as well as sheet goods. What I don't like about it, you can't get a scoring on there, or you can't get, sorry, a dado set on that. It's because the fence, the sliding table is right close to the blade, so that's a bit of a disappointment. Other saws, you'd see the blade would be over here and offset, so you gang up a dado set. Like I said, keep it in mind, it's a $6,000 saw, and it's a pretty functional unit. And so yeah, that essentially wraps it up. Hope you got something out of it. That was new for me, that experience. Anyways, take care. Thanks. Bye.